Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for the 17th of July, 2013. Tropics nice and quiet right now as we are in a downward phase of the Madden-Julian oscillation. That's part of the situation anyway. No tropical cyclones forecast anytime soon. If we take a look at a visible satellite picture loop of the Atlantic Basin from just off the Cape Verde Islands over towards the Lesser Antilles, you'll notice, let's go back to the visible because there's something really neat I want to show you on here. Really, this time of year, as I've mentioned in the last several days, this part of July, very inactive overall, especially if we look back at the last 100 years. And it has to do with the higher surface pressures, the water temperatures are still warming, and a lot of instability issues that still need to be overcome in the tropics. Nevertheless, sometimes you get development in July like we saw with Chantal the last week or so. Right now, a vigorous tropical wave moving through and into the Lesser Antilles right now. But behind it, look at this surge here of dry, stable air. There's even a little boundary right there of showers and thunderstorms that has kicked up along the southern and southeast part of that surge of dry air. All these little clouds you see in here are indicative of very stable air, not able to produce any deep convection. It's a beautiful sky out there. If you're in a boat looking up, it would just be gorgeous, but it doesn't lend itself to tropical cyclone development. Here in the Bahamas, weak upper level low, mid to upper level low with a surface trough interacting with that, producing showers and thunderstorms. Pretty good risk of waterspouts in the Florida Keys, so if you're in that area, just keep an ear to the NOAA weather radio or your favorite weather app. Radar Scope is a great app for keeping track of what's going on radar, and that's available for iPhone, iPad, and Android devices for what it's worth. Check that out. In the Eastern Pacific, things are nice and quiet there as well. Same kind of situation going on. The Madden-Julian oscillation not favoring the Atlantic Basin or the Eastern Pacific right now. Here too, you see no organized areas of deep convection anywhere in the tropical Pacific, at least from 140 degrees longitude over to 100, and even points farther east than that. Very quiet conditions, and that's the way it's going to be for the next several days until the Madden-Julian oscillation favors the Atlantic Basin and Western Hemisphere again. Now this is the Euro forecast, the ECMWF, valid today through the 31st, through the end of the month, 2 weeks. And right now, the Madden-Julian oscillation is right here, inside of our circle of non-existence. Basically, what I just showed you with all those blank satellite pictures, with nothing going on convection-wise, that's what you get when you have a non-existent MJO. It's really not present anywhere along the globe. The upward motion pattern just kind of dead right now. However, the Euro is forecasting this to change over the next couple of weeks to begin to favor Phase 2 once again, which is where we had the development right in here of Chantal. And last year, that's when we developed Sandy, and I'd have to look back and see when Isaac developed, the two storms that affected the United States last year. Interesting to see that we're getting ready to have sort of a retrograding, or maybe a reamplification or a restart, if you will, more than a retrograde, where it just kind of hangs out in the Atlantic Basin. And this could mean development again as we get towards the end of the month. Until then, things are going to stay nice and quiet across the Atlantic Basin and the Eastern Pacific, it looks like. And that's great news. So use this time to prepare, do some things that need to be done, get your generator checked if you've had one used before in a storm event and you haven't maintained it since. Now's the time to do that. Now's the time to catalog, take pictures of items in your home or business that you may want to replace if they get destroyed, and something you definitely couldn't live without. Computers, any artwork or anything valuable to you, heirlooms, things of that nature. Catalog them now. Take digital photographs, store them somewhere safe. This is the time to do it when things are this quiet. And believe me, it really does pay off. Every little bit of effort you put in now saves a lot of stress later. So take my advice and do something, okay? Just at least think about what you're going to do. Yeah, what am I going to do if a big hurricane heads my way, or even a little hurricane so to speak. And there's no such thing, right? A hurricane is a hurricane, and you could be impacted, and that's all it takes. That's all that matters, is if you have a bad hurricane season because you were adversely affected, it doesn't matter what everybody else went through, right? It's all about what happens to you and your personal, what could happen to your vulnerability, and now's the time to get ready. So use this dead time to do so. And that's it. That's my advice for you today. That's what we do when things are quiet. We give you some hopefully useful advice. All right? Again, I'm Mark Sudduth. HurricaneTrack.com is my site. Always a privilege to be able to talk to you and give you this information. I'll be back with more for you tomorrow.